was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's. But if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. Someone was going through those lockers, sure, but I didn't think it was Norman. Let me try that again, just see if anything... I had made up my mind. The laptop was dead, but I found some notes and loose paper in the drawer where I had found the key. There was a yellow sticky note with an 8-digit code. Yeah, we'll take that, because that's probably to my safe. The code looked like it might be for the safe, but what kind of phrase was that? Anything else? Is there anything more to find in the desk? I don't even know where that safe was. I've completely forgotten. The code I found should have let me access the safe. Yeah, let's go for it. It worked. I pulled open the small safe door and peered inside. There was a photo in there of Rachel and I when we had first moved to town. In it, we were smiling outside the front of the house, which looked like a real mess. We looked happy, though. Odd, I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. The front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was a good time as any to see what was inside. Did I open the envelope and read what was inside? Yes. I tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper inside. On it was a letter written in a hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me, too. Well, maybe you can. This isn't meant to be an excuse, but, well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream, a quiet place to get established, to live out our lives, and to be together. But you know as well as I do that things quickly changed. Your drinking was one thing. There's been liquor bottles and beer bottles everywhere that the murders were. But as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all. But it took all this to make you realize. In the end, though, you may never forgive me for this. You may never forgive yourself. But this is probably for the best. You'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry it had to happen this way." What on earth? I'm so confused. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. Alright, let's try going back downstairs and see if it'll let us do anything different. It seemed like I'd seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had seen too much. No, go in. I needed to put an end to the situation one way or another. Go in. Ah. Am I gonna go kill myself in the bathroom? Like, is that what's happening here? Did I deserve to die? Yes. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. You know, like killing people. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up, I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was the final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I had found in that house had something to do with all of this. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like 2 people. But who was it that was attacked? With Rachel gone, the implications of what had happened that night were starting to gnaw at me. Someone had clearly taken my wallet. It wasn't me in those woods, or at Norman's. But who could have done so, and why drop my things all over the place? Was someone trying to incriminate me? Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Rachel's name had been on that list, so what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on that desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? One thing I could be sure of, despite my confusion, I knew Norman hadn't been the one who was going back to our old factory. He couldn't have been responsible for that dead guard then. I could take some solace in that. After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, you were dead, and it was damn hard to feel bad about that. It was clear you and Rachel were more than just friends, but obviously whatever had been going on had gone badly. So why did you kill her? Did she want you out of whatever you two were getting into? Were you responsible for the other murders and of those other horrible things that had gone in that town? I would find no peace, that much was certain, but this way I didn't have to look you in the eye or sit through some kind of trial and wonder what was going through your head. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did, but how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now, coming through the back door and into the kitchen should have tipped me off that something was horribly wrong. There was no sound of television or radio, even the air was still on. But seeing Rachel there lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I could never have imagined. That other man I had found was involved in all of this somehow, I knew it. But it was Norman, that traitorous son of a bitch, who had done the deed. Whatever was going on, he was the one who took Rachel away from me. I hated him for it more than I could possibly express, but that offered no strength, no solace. Rachel was gone now, and I was too. Forever. I put the knife down and drew a long, warm bath. Slipping into the tub, I was surprised with how calm I felt. I heard it like going to sleep. I heard it was like going to sleep if you did it right. If I could read, that would be helpful. So I held my arms under the water and I made the incisions. Though the initial sting came as a shock, it was only a matter of minutes before I felt myself ebb and fade. After that, the room washed to a calming, comforting shade of gray.
Is this a goddamn book?
I know, right? I know.
Oh my god.
It was like recapping every choice I've made. It's like one of those games. Am I supposed to sit here and look at this gray screen? Okay.
Oh, that was the end?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Well, I honestly think that there could have been a different way for it to end, because it straight up asked me if my wife was in a trash bag, her dead body. I wonder what would have happened if I had said no, you know? Of course, this is one of those games where you get multiple choices on different things, and you definitely have the opportunity to mold the story around your choices. So that could have ended completely different. I mean, I could have said, Norman didn't kill anybody, it was all me. Well, I am washed out. But you know what? For the money I paid for it, I want to say I paid anywhere from $2 to $7. I can't exactly remember. It was a short game. and I definitely will probably play it again to see if I can get a different kind of ending. But for the money I paid for it, it's a pretty good game. That being said, it was fun hanging out with you guys before breakfast, and thanks so much for watching and joining in. I'm gonna go get off here, eat some food, and get ready for work. So I will play with y'all later. Make sure to follow me on Twitter because I post on there before I do any streaming, so you can keep up to date when I'm going to be doing any kind of video games. You can also tweet at me to suggest any games that we could play. That would be really fun, and I will be working on uploading the streams that I have onto YouTube, so that way you can watch anything that you missed on there as well. So have fun, and thanks